Hey YouTube, so like I said before, in my last video, I was going to do a reintro, um, just kind of re-go over things, just kind of help track progress and such. Let old people, give them a refresher, newer people to my channel, let them, know who I am without going back and watching everything. So, my name is Kale. Legally had it changed to Kale in May of 2013. Middle name changed to Dominic, kept my last name. It was a great feeling. Went really quick compared to some of the other guys that I've watched videos on name changes for. I don't know if I was just lucky or if the state of Vermont is just really getting good about pushing that kind of thing through. But I filled out my paperwork. For the state of Vermont, it's $130-ish. Really wasn't that bad. And depending on your judge, you're either gonna have to sit down and answer some questions, or you might get super lucky like I did and just be like, you're not doing this to avoid credit, right? And then I got my paperwork. So yeah. I'm 25 years old. Been out for 5.5 years. Actually came out like a month before my 20th birthday. So that was interesting. Been binding for just about 5 years. One or two of those was with an ace bandage, which in a pinch it works. Gives you a much boxier look, and it's really uncomfortable. It also does not stay as well. I would definitely look into, if you don't have enough money to get a binder, look into some of the binder share sites and stuff like that. It's just so much more comfortable. It's still not comfortable, but it's more comfortable to actually have a binder than the ace bandages, which I did for a long time, and it was super uncomfortable. They have the tendency to roll, and bunch and bind, and it, one, you tend to look more awkward as they roll, and two, when you have a bunch of them rolling to one point, it gets very tight, and yeah. So I've been living as a male full-time for more like 4.5 years. I had a couple of jobs when I first came out that I didn't necessarily come out while I was in them. I used the name Kale, but I didn't talk to anybody about my gender stuff, so I don't really count. So it wasn't full time, but I was, living as male with my friends and my family. So as far as binding, I used the full length Underworks double binder. It works really well, and I'm a larger chested guy. It's just double panels in the front, single panel on the back. I personally choose the beige, just because it's with black. Wearing that under your clothes all day, it's going to attract heat, you're going to sweat more. And then with the white, the beige still gets kind of gnarly looking, because it's something you're wearing a lot, for an extended amount of time, so it's going to get dirty and stained and whatnot. I started out with a white one. It ended up gray by the end, by the time I bought a new one. So I went with the beige. Some guys go with the beige because it's closer to skin color. I went because it didn't get dirty as fast, didn't get gross as fast. And then for packing, I don't pack often, just because the lower half of my body isn't as troublesome for me right now. But when I do pack, slightly taller guy, or for a trans guy anyways, almost 5'7". I'm also a heavier set guy, so I went with a bigger, not sure if it's a Mr. Softy or Mr. Limpy, but I think I went with the 4.5 or 5.5 pale. Matches my skin tone pretty well. It's a little awkward, because I don't like wearing harnesses, so what I've been doing is I get really tight boxer briefs when I'm going to pack, and I wear those, and it tends to stay in pretty well. If I have to wear looser, or I'm worried about it falling out, I'll just get like a small, like either a child or a woman's no-show sock, and just put it in the sock and safety pin it to my underpants, and that works really well. It keeps it from falling. I also have tried underpants with pockets in them, either ones that you can find, or putting them in myself, and that works really well. It's just more expensive than I can afford right now. So that's what I use for packing. I currently don't own an STP because, well, I do, but I don't like it because it's a hard plastic. I think it was one of the P styles, and it just didn't, it wasn't easy for me to carry around, so I stopped using it, and bathroom anxiety hasn't ever really been anything huge for me, so yeah. And as I just started, I am currently on tea. I actually just started tea. If anybody just watched my last video, they would know that. I'm pre-op. Definitely planning on a mastectomy and hysterectomy. Not sure beyond that. It depends on when I get to that point, where the medical community is on look versus function. It also depends on how much growth I get from tea. So that is my reintro video. I will probably either tomorrow evening or later on today be making the testosterone video that I talked about, just pros and cons of both androgel and testosterone, and a little bit of a public service announcement, just to, help out some guys, not kind of make the same mistake I did. Alright, YouTube, see you next time.